Hi everyone, and welcome to Budgeting with Tiffany. I'm super excited to be doing this first video, a little nervous, but mostly excited. As you can probably guess, my name is Tiffany. In this first video, I wanted to talk a little bit about myself and why I'm starting this channel, and then do a quick flip through of all of my envelopes. I'm 43 years old, married to my husband, DJ, who is 37, and we've been married for almost 10 years. We've known each other for almost 14. We live in Minneapolis, Minnesota with our 2 cats. And I've been using the zero-based budgeting and digital envelope budgeting for over 10 plus years. And when I mentioned digital envelope budgeting, I've specifically been using You Need a Budget. And our experience with using both the zero-based budgeting and digital envelope budgeting has allowed us to pay off over $187,000 in student loan debt. We've also paid for our wedding in cash. We've saved for various long-term expenses, and we've still enjoyed life along the way. However, our journey hasn't always been easy, but we're where we are due in large part because of using the zero-based budgeting. So kind of why am I doing this YouTube channel? A few months ago, I discovered cash stuffing videos. Shout out to Intentional Living for actually being the first cash stuffer whose videos I saw, and basically just went down a rabbit hole of watching cash stuffing videos, and have discovered, the joy of watching everybody's cash stuffing videos. I've loved watching each person share their journey and experiences, and I've learned so much from them. I feel like I've completely found my people. And actually, I was telling my husband about how, like, the different types of videos that people do, and was telling him about the cash condensing videos, and he was like, people are watching people just swap out money, and I was like, yes, and he's like, that's kind of weird, and I was like, but I love those videos. And so that was when I kind of really realized I'd found my people. And I've also been astounded and just love how supportive the community is. We live in a world where social media and stuff can be very negative, and I've just been amazed at how supportive everyone is within the community, celebrating wins, helping people when they struggle, just giving a, hey, congratulations on completing a challenge, or, things like that, or paying off a debt. It's just been great. And I really wish I would have known about doing cash stuffing videos years ago when we were paying down our student loans. One, it would have served as an inspiration and motivation for us during that time. But also we could have shared our journey during that time. So even though we've come so far, our journey with money is just that. It's still a journey, and we want to share ours as we continue to learn and grow, and then possibly help others on their journey. So I'm now going to kind of flip through my envelopes to provide some insight into our expenses. I will note that certain expenses we aren't going to be cash stuffing. We keep them in our bank, things like our mortgage and monthly subscriptions and student loans, the things that are kind of auto drafted from our account. There are a couple things that are auto drafted from our account that we will be cash stuffing, but most of them we won't be. So let me go ahead and move over. So my black, I love black, so this is our kind of daily expenses, or things that we pretty much kind of do something with every month regardless. And I put them in alphabetical order. So date night, my husband and I try to go on date nights, or date days, walk and get ice cream, anything like that, as often as we can. He coaches high school athletics, so a lot of times he doesn't get home until an hour before I go to bed. So sometimes we don't get to, but we try to as often as possible. And I will also note that I'm filming my first cash stuffing video right after this. So if you happen to notice that there's plus amounts for today, that's because I've already prepared for the first cash stuffing video. So just wanted to make note of that. Second is our eating out envelope. We try not to eat out too often, but now that our debt is more manageable and our income has increased, you know, we do like to be able to eat out occasionally, and or order delivery or something, especially if we just had a long day or things like that. We've also got a couple gift cards in here that we need to use. I've got gas. I'm fortunate enough that I take the bus to work on the days that I go into the office, and my bus pass is taken out of my paycheck, so I actually don't drive my car all that often, so I don't need to fill up gas too often. I will also make note that my husband, this gas money is just for me. My husband he'd rather just have a lump sum of money that he uses for his various expenses, commuting to work, for, you know, paying for gas, eating out if he's, you know, out somewhere. Sometimes he buys a kid dinner, or, you know, McDonald's or something after practice. So he just usually gets about $400 a month that's put into one of our bank accounts that he kind of uses as his account. We're not going to cash stuff that. He'd prefer not to have cash. We'll still keep track of it on our budget, but it won't get cash stuffed. So some of these expenses are just for me. Groceries, with just the two of us, our groceries are not too bad, but we do like to splurge occasionally, and stuff, but I feel like we've kept it pretty well in check. Households is for things like garbage bags, you know, any of the things just to run the household, things like that. My food is kind of for me eating out. Occasionally I'll grab lunch at work, or I'll go out to work, to lunch with a friend or something, so I use that for that. And then we have, as I mentioned, we have 2 cats. One of our cats has seizures, so she has to take medicine twice a day. So we set aside money to pay for her prescriptions, and then, you know, cat food, cat litter, cat treats, things like that. And I'm sure at some point you'll probably see them on these videos because they always like to pop up. Spending is kind of just it's not really within a category, but it's something that we want to purchase. So I've got general spending. Toiletries is things like shampoo, razors, you know, those types of things. Utilities is one of the categories that I'd mentioned earlier that is auto drafted, but I decided to go ahead and cash stuff it. We also set up for 2 of our 3 utilities to be the monthly budget, where they kind of look at the average of your usage over like a year period, and they average it out, so that way you pay the same amount every month. So I've started doing that because being in Minnesota, you know, our gas bill is much higher in the winter, but very low in the summer. And our electric bill is the opposite. It's high in the summer when we're running the air conditioner, and low in the winter. And then we have our water bill, which covers water, trash, recycling. We also have compost, which is really nice. So yeah, so the water is the only bill that kind of fluctuates month to month. And then I just have a small little buffer account, or envelope, for covering things that, you know, just kind of are unplanned, or we go over in an envelope. Then I've got my brown binder, which is kind of the things that we gonna have to use within a certain period of time. on an annual basis. So things like our annual fees, which covers like if we have a fee for our credit card. We do use credit cards for a lot of things to earn rewards and points and stuff. But we always pay it off in full every month. That was one of the best things my mom ever taught me when I was a kid, was always make sure you pay your credit card in full every month. Never buy anything you can't afford to pay off. Annual fees also, my husband has a couple coaching fees that he pays yearly that come out of this as well. And then I'm also paying for You Need a Budget out of here. Car insurance, we pay for car insurance on a 6-month, we pay for it 6 months in the next 6 months, so 6 months at a time. So we save up for the 6 months so that we can pay it in full. Car registration. Christmas is, it's not gifts, it's things like doing our annual Christmas card and paying for postage, or being able to just do anything like that. Because I'd never really saved for that. And then all of a sudden I'd be ordering the Christmas cards and it was like, oh, that's really expensive. And this was actually something I got, an idea I got from the Aesthetic Dollar. I had been using Drops, which is a company that does sustainable dishwasher and laundry pods. They come in cardboard packages, so it's not plastic and stuff, but they're little pods, and you have a subscription. And I've been using it for a few years, but I hadn't actually had a category for it. And I saw on one of her videos that she had one, and I was like, I need to create one. So I did. So I've got my Drops. And if anybody's interested in checking out Drops, I can actually put a referral code in the description of this video, so that if you decide you want to make a purchase, you can get a discount, and I get a referral bonus that basically counts towards a future purchase of mine. I've been really happy with getting them. Gifts is our general gifts. Mostly it's for Christmas, but occasionally it'll be for a birthday or Christmas. We generally, as we've gotten older, move towards just focusing on Christmas. So occasionally a wedding will pop up, but now with us being in our 40s and 30s, most of the people we know are already married. So weddings, we just generally kind of pay for as they pop up. Gutters, we have our gutters cleaned every year, so I save for that. My hair appointment, I get my hair cut every 3 to 4 months, so I just kind of stuff that so that I have the money for the next appointment. We have a mortgage in our house, but we don't escrow our home insurance and property taxes. We pay for that ourselves, so we save for that each year. So I've got the home insurance. Massage, I've had various back issues from childhood with doing gymnastics and cheerleading and things like that, and then obviously working at a desk all day. My shoulders, back get horrible. One of the perks at my office is they actually bring in someone once a month and do chair massages, and we just do a tip, which is really nice. So I'm doing that like each month, 2 of the months, and then on the 3rd month I go and get like a full body massage, and keep that rotation. And my mother-in-law keeps gifting me massages for my birthday and Christmas, and during COVID I'd kind of gotten behind at using them, so right now I've still got 2 gift certificates to get one for both my birthday and Christmas from 2023. I'm actually getting my birthday one in a couple weeks, so I'm really excited about that. And basically I just pay for it and then she pays me back. So I've got the cash in here to pay it, and then she'll pay me back. So here's the property taxes, and then my husband does some yoga So we kind of save up some money so that he can pay for that, for classes and stuff as he wants to take them. And then I've got the other kind of longer term sinking funds, but where they're things that we don't necessarily get into on any schedule, things that just kind of pop up as things arise. So things like car maintenance, clothing. With not having children, we aren't buying clothing and all that often, and neither of us are really clothing people. So it's kind of, we just purchase as we need things. We have giving / kindness. I might also kind of use this as supporting small businesses. So things like buying things on Etsy from other fellow cash stuffers. We do have one charitable gifting that we do that's direct deposit or directly withdrawn from our account. So I'll stuff that at the beginning of the month, and then the rest of the time I'll kind of just stuff a little bit each week. We've got health, which is kind of just a general co-pays, things like that. Home maintenance, home miscellaneous so maintenance is kind of just like something's broke, or we need to do something to maintain the home, where home miscellaneous is more like decor, or if we actually need a new bedspread, because notice that our on my husband's side of the bedspread there's kind of a rip, and so I'll be getting one of those soon. Home projects, we usually kind of focus on one project that we need to do at any given time and kind of save money for that. So right now we need to either repair or possibly replace the retaining wall that surrounds part of our property, and we're not sure exactly how much it's going to cost, depending on if it just needs to be repaired or fully replaced. So we're saving a fair amount of money for that. Hoping to be able to do that in the maybe this summer, but maybe next year. Opportunities, my husband actually came up with this category. It's kind of just, if an opportunity presents itself, it's not something maybe we knew about in advance to save for, but things like going to a concert that all of a sudden pop up, or just again, an opportunity presents itself. Outdoors is for things like lawn care, or being in Minnesota, we have a lot of snow usually, not so much this winter. So, if we need to do maintenance on our snow blower or lawnmower, things like that. And actually, I swear, I told my husband the reason we haven't had much snow this winter is because we got our snow blower fixed. So that's why we don't need it. Roof, our house is very old. It was built in 1900 or earlier, but the roof was brand new when we bought the house almost 5 years ago, 4.5 years ago. So we don't need a new roof on it anytime soon, but I figure if we start putting a little bit towards it each month, then by the time we need a new roof, we have the funds. My husband definitely wants to get another tattoo, and I may as well at some point, so we're kind of setting some money aside to do that. Technology is something I hadn't really been saving for or setting money aside for, just kind of, if we knew we needed a new computer, we just kind of focused on that a little bit at that time. So now I'm going to start putting some money specifically for, whether it's a new cell phone, new computer, new, anything technology. Travel is a high priority for us. We love to road trip. We love to do travel. So we've actually got a couple trips coming up. In March, we're taking an Amtrak trip from Chicago to San Francisco. I'm super excited about that. We got one of the roomettes, so I'm really excited about that. And then this summer, we're planning to do a trip to St. Louis and Kansas City to go to a couple baseball games. I'm a huge baseball fan, and on my bucket list is to go to all the baseball stadiums. So we're trying to knock off 2 more this summer. So yeah. And then we have vet, which with having cats, they're usually low maintenance, but with our one cat having seizures, we have to take her to the vet twice a year for them to check her levels for the medicine that she takes, whether they need to increase or decrease her dosage. And also because one of the medicines she takes can affect her liver, so they're making sure that she's, you know, everything's still fine. She started having seizures when she was a kitten, and she's now, she'll turn 8 this year, so she's been on it for, you know, about 7 years now. So we always make sure, plus we'd had 2 other cats who we were older, who we've lost over the last couple of years. One is most recently as this past October, and at the end of their life, you know, vet bills increased and stuff, so we always just want to make sure we have sufficient vet bills for them, or money for their vet bills. And then lastly, I have, this is probably my favorite binder. I like this one too, because it's the kind of marble-y look, but I love, as I mentioned, I love black, so I love the black and gold marble look. So this is my kind of savings binder for kind of longer term savings. So we've got our emergency fund, where we used a little of it to pay off my husband's car, and so we're in the process of finishing paying that back, and actually planning to do that, the final payment back, with the next cash stuffing. So I'm excited about that. And then once we, my husband is taking a couple of courses at the University of Minnesota related to coaching. So he thought he was going to take the final 2 classes that he needs for what he's doing this semester, but he decided to only take 1. So we have the money in here to pay for the final class in the fall. And then when we finish paying back the emergency fund, since the money that we're using to pay back the emergency fund was the money that we were originally paying towards my husband's car when we bought his car, we're gonna roll it over to be a new car fund. My car is a 2007. It's been having minor issues here or there. It's also a front wheel drive car, so in the winters up here it's not the greatest. So in the next year or 2 I'm looking at trying to get a new car. I don't think we'll save up enough to pay for it in cash, but anything will help. And then we're saving for doing some savings challenges. We're saving for both my Roth IRA and my husband's Roth IRA for the year. And then because of really the only debts we have is our mortgage, and then I've still got a few student loans that are like the interest rates like 1.325 or something like that, because they were from when I was in undergrad back in the late 90s, early 2000s. So the interest rates were much lower back then. And so I'm not really in a hurry to pay them off any faster than I have to. I might throw a little bit extra towards it. But our priority now is paying for retirement. And especially because I took time off in my 30s to go back to school. So I missed several years where I wasn't saving for retirement. And then my husband, being 6 years younger, hadn't even started saving for retirement. So we're just trying to, in some ways, get caught up, but also get ahead on saving for retirement. So our goal this year is to try to put $16,000 into our brokerage account. So one of the ways we're going to do that is we're doing the 100 envelope challenge, and we're doing the one that'll save us $10,100. So that's one of the things that we're doing. We're also doing a Friday challenge where we save a certain amount for each Friday. So that'll go towards it. We're also doing a 52-week challenge that'll save us $1,378. And then the other one that's going towards investments is like a monthly savings challenge. So between all of those, that gets us to just about $16,000. And then the other thing that we are doing that I don't have in here yet, and I'm going to add in the next video, is I did buy a scratch off, a couple scratch offs from an Etsy seller that we will use to help us pay down our mortgage a little bit faster. And then we're doing the $1 challenge, where any money left over that's, you know, singles, will save in the $1 challenge. So yeah, so I think that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and if you've enjoyed this, please give it a thumbs up, and I would so appreciate it if you would subscribe to my channel. As I mentioned, I'm really excited but a little nervous, and I know it'll probably take a little time for people to see this video and you know, to want to potentially subscribe and stuff, but you know, I definitely appreciate anybody who's watching this, and if you would like and subscribe. So thank you so much.